students, in today's lecture we will continue lesson number 4, that is air, and our topic is wind, moisture and rainfall. So the very first question is, what is wind? Till now you people used to say that moving air or the blowing air is known as wind. But today we will learn the detailed meaning of wind. So what is wind? Horizontal movement of air in response to difference in pressure, that is known as wind. Now the very important thing over here is horizontal movement of air, because wind always blow in horizontal direction. If the wind is blowing in vertical direction, then it is known as current. Again I am repeating, if the wind is blowing in horizontal direction, then it is wind, and if it is blowing in vertical direction, then it is known as current. So what is wind? Horizontal movement of air in response to difference in pressure, that is known as wind. Now some important features of wind. First of all, it moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. Wind always moves from an area where there is high pressure to the area where there is low pressure. Let's understand this with the help of a diagram. Now here we have equator. Now you all know that at equator maximum heat is there, because here the sun rays are very much direct. So here the heat is more. Now here the temperature will also be more. So what will happen? The air will get warm up. Now the warm air is lighter in weight and it will rise up. So first of all, what happens? At the equator the temperature is more. Because of more temperature there will be more heat, and because of that the air will become hot and rises up. This will create an area of low pressure over here. Here there will be a low pressure area. Why low pressure? Because the warm air has risen up. Now what will happen? The polar air, which is very much colder, will sink downward to the equator, because that is more in weight. So here the air will be lighter, and at these points the air will have more weight, so it will sink down. So the air will move from high pressure to low pressure. As we have studied here, that at equator the air will be warmer, it will rise up, and at polar areas or at subtropical high pressure belts the air will be colder, so it will come down. So air is coming down from high pressure to low pressure. That is the feature of the air, that it moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. Now we have different types of winds. First of all, we have planetary winds, second one is periodic winds, and the third one is local winds. We will study in detail about these three types. So first one is planetary winds. First of all, these are also known as primary winds. These are even known as prevailing winds. Now what are planetary or the permanent or the prevailing winds? These are those winds that blow continuously and constantly throughout the year. Again I am repeating, these blow continuously and constantly throughout the year. Means they are very much constant, they do not change their direction. They blow throughout the year, and these winds are very strong and definite. Now these winds, which are also known as permanent winds, are again of three types: trade winds, easterlies and westerlies. Now what are these three? Trade winds are those winds which move from subtropical high pressure belt to equatorial low pressure belt. I have already explained that at the equator low pressure is there. Why the pressure is low? Because here the temperature is more, the air will become hot, it will become warm, and it will rise up. So there will be low pressure. And at subtropical high pressure belt there will be more pressure. So what will happen? Here the air will move in this direction from high pressure to low pressure, and in the southern hemisphere also from high pressure to low pressure. These are known as trade winds, which move from subtropical high pressure belt to equatorial low pressure belt. These are trade winds. This is one of the example of planetary winds. These are continuous and constant, and these blow throughout the year. Now the second one is easterlies and westerlies. Now what the name suggests, one is related to east and second is related to west. All the winds are named according to their origin. So these winds are also named according to their origin. Easterlies are those which originate from east direction, and westerlies are those which originate from west direction. So these are the three types of, you can say, planetary winds, even you can say permanent winds or the prevailing winds. Now we are going to study about the second type of wind, that is periodic wind. Now what are periodic winds? The name is also suggesting that these are those winds which blow for a particular period of time. These are those winds which are changed according to the seasons. So they are also known as seasonal winds. So what are periodic winds? These are also known as seasonal winds. These are those winds which change their direction according to the season. And the best example is monsoon in India. You all know that monsoon is there for a particular season, for particular months of the year. So this is those winds which change their direction. For example, the monsoon winds. Next category is the local winds. Again, the name is suggesting local. Local means which is there only in some local areas, only in some limited areas for limited duration of the period. That means the area is also limited and the duration of these winds is also limited. For example, you can say Loo. You all are very well aware of the Loo. Loo blows in the northern part of the India, and that is also for some parts of the year. So local winds are those winds which blows for limited duration and in the limited areas. So here we have covered three types of winds: planetary winds, periodic winds and local winds. Now we have the next topic, that is unit to calculate wind. Whenever we write the wind, we write it with the unit kilometers per hour. This is the speed of the unit, speed of the wind. The speed of the wind is always written with the unit kilometers per hour. Next one is direction. This is the, here we have wind vane. If you want to measure the direction of the wind, if you want to check the direction of the wind, then the instrument is wind vane. And if you want to measure the speed of the wind, then the instrument is anemometer. The instrument for measuring the speed is anemometer. To check the direction of the wind, it is wind vane, and the unit is kilometers per hour. Now the next topic is moisture. What is moisture? Water vapor in the air is known as moisture. And what is humidity? Although the moisture and humidity are taken together as the same meaning, but a little difference is there. When we talk about moisture, we only consider the water vapor in the air. When we talk about humidity, we also consider the temperature. That is, humidity is amount of water vapor present in the air at a given temperature. So here we will consider the relation between the water vapor and the temperature at which the air is given. So humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air at a given temperature. Now you all know, because of the heat of the sun, the water in the water bodies evaporates. After the evaporation, the water is converted into water vapor and it rises upward. Now after it rises upward, what will happen? When it rises upward, you will say that there is humidity in the air. That is, water vapor is present in the air. And when the warm air with the moisture, when it will rise up, what will happen? At some height, condensation will take place. That is, when the air will no longer be able to hold the moisture, at that time the water vapor will convert into the water droplets. This means that the condensation is taking place, and after that the clouds will be formed when tiny water droplets join together. These clouds will bring rain. So the next topic is rainfall. Again I am repeating, what will happen? Due to the water vapor in the air, the condensation will take place, and these water droplets that are the part of the condensation process, they will join together and form the clouds. These clouds will bring rainfall. Now what is rainfall? Falling of water droplets on the ground. So rainfall is the falling of water droplets on the ground. Now we have three types of rainfall. First, convectional rainfall. Second, orographic rainfall. And the third, cyclonic rainfall. Today we will be discussing about all these types in detail. So the first one we have is convectional rainfall. What is convectional rainfall? First of all, here the vertical transfer of heat takes place. So what will happen? Suppose this is the surface of the earth. Here the warm air is there. Now what will happen? This warm air, being lighter in weight, rises up, and at some height, when it reaches some height, when the air will no longer be able to hold the moisture, at that point the condensation will take place. This condensation will lead to forming of clouds, and finally when the clouds become very heavy in weight, it will rain. This type of rainfall is known as convectional rainfall. So here you have seen that vertical transfer of heat is there because the heat of this surface of the earth has risen upward with the air. So here the warm air is there, then evaporation will take place, which will lead to condensation and finally the precipitation. So this is the convectional rainfall. Now the second type of rainfall is orographic rainfall. This is also known as relief rainfall because in this the relief features of the earth are also considered. For example, I have taken the mountain. Now what will happen? First of all, the moisture laden air, that is the air which holds moisture in it, will rise upward, and as it rises upward with the mountain, because of the height, the condensation will take place. As the air is moisture laden, a lot of moisture is there in the air. At some height, the condensation will take place because the moisture laden air will strike the mountain and the rainfall will take place. Now here two things are there. One, windward side, and second, the leeward side. The side which is away from the wind is known as leeward side, and the side facing the wind is known as windward side. And you see, when the moisture laden air rises upward, it strikes the mountain, the rainfall will take place, but the most of the rainfall will be in the windward side and only the little rainfall is in leeward side. So windward side will experience maximum rainfall and there is little or no moisture in the leeward side. So this is the type of orographic, or you can say relief rainfall, where the moisture laden air strikes with the mountain. Now the third type of rainfall is cyclonic rainfall. This is related to cyclones. Now what is a cyclone? Cyclone is closed circulation of the wind with a low pressure center. Means circulation of wind is there, two types of wind is there, and at the center low pressure is there. Now what will happen? In cyclonic rainfall, two types of air is there. One, the warm air, and second, the cold air. What will happen? The warm air from equator will move towards the poles and the cold polar air will move toward the equator. So when on the way the two air will meet each other, the rainfall will take place. What will happen? The warm air from equator will move towards the poles. The polar cooler air will move towards the equator. On the way, the both air, the warm air and the cold air, will clash with each other and the condensation of the warm moisture laden air will take place. And this will lead to rainfall. This type of rainfall is known as cyclonic rainfall. So what is cyclonic rainfall? This is the rainfall which is associated with the cyclones and where the warm air clashes with the cold air and the condensation of the warm moisture laden takes place. This is known as cyclonic rainfall. Now our last topic is importance of rainfall. Why rainfall is very much important when the earth is covered with water. We know that 71% of the earth is covered with water. Still the rainfall is very much important because it is the source of fresh water on the earth and the maximum underground water is recharged with the help of rainfall. And you all know that rainfall is very much important for plants also, for cultivation of crops also. We know that in a country like India where still maximum population is dependent on the monsoons for the crops, we need rainfall. So rainfall is very much important, but there are some disadvantages also which are related to rainfall. For example, if in a place the rainfall is very heavy, then what will happen? Either the flood will take place, so it will lead to destruction of so many people, it will lead to destruction of property as well as lives of human beings and the animal. So the rainfall should be there, but it should not be that in one place drought is there and in one place maximum rainfall is there. But this is not the condition in our hands. We cannot control the rainfall. So rainfall is equally important, but at some places the disadvantage is also there. One more thing is there that rainfall is measured in millimeters and the instrument used to measure the rainfall is rain gauge. So today we studied about three things: wind, moisture and rainfall. Thank you everyone.